Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. As we find ourselves here on a crisp late November afternoon, the spirit of football seems to permeate every corner, especially when we consider the legends who once captivated the entire world. And speaking of those legends, how can we ever forget the name Ronaldinho? A football magician, a true artist. Every touch of the ball, every sprint, carried with it a radiant smile, an eye twinkling with pure joy. A smile that became a trademark, a symbol of football as an art form, a game of pure improvisation and absolute freedom. But have you ever wondered, ladies and gentlemen, does that smile, the one that once lit up packed stadiums from the Nou Camp to San Siro, still grace his face regularly today? What ups and downs has Ronaldinho, the former Ballon d'Or winner, experienced in his current life that has led many to question the brilliance of his former radiance? Today, we will embark on a journey together to find the answers, peeling back the layers of a legend's life to understand the truth behind the football legend's current life. Let's rewind for a moment, back to Ronaldinho's dazzling peak years. It was a period where he embodied the pure joy of football. We remember his years at Barcelona, from 2003 to 2008. Whenever Ronaldinho stepped onto the pitch, it wasn't just a match, it was an artistic performance. From his mesmerizing step-overs and incredible backheel passes to his unimaginable through balls, everything was executed with a flamboyant flair, an irresistible passion, and that smile, especially that innocent, ever-present smile, as if he were playing football with friends on the streets of Brazil in his childhood. Not in front of tens of thousands of spectators and the world's flashbulbs. Ronaldinho's smile possessed a magical power. Perhaps no other player has ever managed to make even opposing fans rise and applaud as he did at the Santiago Bernabéu during an El Clásico match back in November 2005. That was a historic moment, a symbol of appreciation for beautiful football. Without boundaries, experts at the time even suggested that his smile could calm tempers, and even persuade referees to reverse card decisions. He truly was a creator of smiles, a genuine sorcerer. Not just with the ball but with human emotions. However, life, as we know, is not always a bed of roses. After stepping away from the footballing spotlight, especially since his official retirement in 2018, Ronaldinho's life has seen many major changes. That familiar smile seems to have receded, replaced by worries and continuous problems. We still recall how, around 2018, about a year and a half after he hung up his boots, the first reports of Ronaldinho's financial difficulties began to surface. Brazilian authorities seized his passport and some of his assets. The reason was that Ronaldinho and his brother, Roberto de Assis, had failed to pay a substantial fine related to illegal construction in a protected environmental area on Lake Guaíba, in the state of Rio Grande do Sul. Dating back to 2015, the fine amounted to millions of US dollars. A staggering sum that, even for a star who had earned so much, proved difficult for Ronaldinho to settle. At that time, Brazilian media sensationally reported that Ronaldinho's bank account was almost empty, containing only a few dollars. The image of a wealthy, extravagant football magician suddenly stood in stark contrast to this harsh reality. Luxury cars, valuable properties in Rio de Janeiro and Rio Grande do Sul were valued and put up for sale to cover debts. It was a massive shock to fans who still remembered the all-night parties and lavish celebrations that Ronaldinho was famous for. Perhaps, his extravagant and uncontrolled lifestyle after his glory days played a significant role in the financial troubles he encountered. But the climax of these turbulences must be the shocking incident in Paraguay in March 2020. On the evening of March 4, 2020, local time in Asunción, Paraguay, Ronaldinho and his brother Roberto arrived in the country to participate in a charity event and promote a large casino, at the invitation of tycoon Nelson Bellotti. However, just one morning later, on March 5, while they were resting at a luxury golf resort hotel in the capital city of Asunción, Paraguayan police raided and arrested both of them. The reason, which stunned the world, was their use of fake passports to enter Paraguay. The information on Ronaldinho's passport listed his nationality as Paraguayan, not Brazilian. This was an extremely serious matter. Recall that Ronaldinho had his Brazilian passport confiscated by the government in 2018 due to the illegal construction case. So his presence in Paraguay with a fake passport sparked widespread controversy and astonishment. The following months were a dark chapter in Ronaldinho's life. He and his brother spent 32 days in prison at the Agrupación Especializada facility in Asunción, before being transferred to house arrest in a luxurious 4-star hotel, though still under strict legal supervision, for a total of 171 days. When news of Ronaldinho's imprisonment spread, many envisioned a bleak, suffering future for him. A celebrated football magician suddenly becoming a prisoner was an image hard to accept. However, surprisingly, even in the most challenging circumstances, the smile and the spirit of football never abandoned Ronaldinho. A recent interview with Globo, revealed on November 22, 2025, Brasilia time, Brazil, saw Ronaldinho share details about his time in prison for the first time. He recounted, to everyone's surprise, that he was not beaten or tortured as is often heard in horrifying prison stories. Instead, he was treated kindly, even becoming a star among the inmates, guards, administrative staff, and even other prisoners all adored him. Ronaldinho stated, "I thought I would be beaten, tortured, and experience all sorts of terrible things people talk about in prison. But the reality was completely the opposite. They even called the guards to organize football matches, and asked me to perform some dribbling moves to entertain everyone." He then happily added, "Just one morning after my arrest, I was taken to the prison's futsal court. Everyone played football joyfully, laughing and having a good time. I can say that my time there wasn't really bad at all." He even participated in a small futsal tournament within the prison and won it with his team, scoring 17 goals and providing 6 assists in a single match, receiving a wooden trophy and a homemade golden ball. He believes football saved him once again, bringing him new friends and unforgettable memories. These revelations show an astonishingly optimistic spirit, somehow still retaining the smile of the impossible that he once brought to football. Despite facing numerous difficulties, he maintained his faith and positivity. He paid $1.6 million for bail to be released on house arrest at the hotel. With room rental costs exceeding $700 per day, he enjoyed a comfortable life with a swimming pool, gym, and other entertainment services. This indicates that, despite being caught in legal troubles, Ronaldinho continued to seek joy, or at least comfort, in life. After that difficult period, Ronaldinho has gradually rebuilt his life, although financial problems persist, with numerous debts and lawsuits related to the cryptocurrency company 18K Ronaldinho, where victims are demanding over $65 million in compensation. He also launched a betting and gaming platform called Bruxo10.net. But alongside these controversial ventures, Ronaldinho has also made positive efforts to reshape his image and earn money legitimately. He has become an ambassador for various brands and football events worldwide. In August 2025, he made a surprising appearance at the launch event for Nude Project's Little Kid Big Dream collection, demonstrating his influence extends beyond sports and into fashion. He also continues as an ambassador for the upcoming arcade-style football game Rematch and was a Barcelona ambassador for 10 years starting in 2017. Nike also revived his iconic Tiempo Legend touch of gold sneakers in the summer of 2025, once again solidifying Ronaldinho's legendary status in football and fashion. Most notably, on the evening of October 12, 2024, local time in the U.S., Ronaldinho announced his investment in American football. He and his brother acquired stakes in 2 clubs, Greenville Triumph, a men's team in USL League One, the third tier of U.S. football, and Greenville Liberty, a women's team in the USLW League. This move is seen as capitalizing on the excitement of the 2026 World Cup, which will be held in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, showcasing his vision for developing football economics. On a personal note, despite his many preoccupations, Ronaldinho is experiencing joyful family news. His only son, João Mendes, is currently pursuing a football career and playing for the U21 Burnley team in England. And in news that has surprised and delighted many, in early December 2024, Giovanna Boscasio, João Mendes' girlfriend, revealed she is pregnant, meaning Ronaldinho will become a grandfather at 45. Around March 2025. Surely, this happiness will bring more radiant smiles to Ronnie. So, our initial question was, why doesn't Ronaldinho smile as much anymore? After reviewing everything, it's clear that Ronaldinho's life after the limelight has not been a smooth path. Legal troubles, significant financial difficulties, and scandals related to business ventures, all are considerable burdens. Any individual, no matter how optimistic, would find it hard to avoid moments of introspection and worry. The innocent, carefree smile of yesteryear may have given way to the more mature, thoughtful demeanor of a man who has weathered many storms. However, what's truly precious is that the Samba spirit, Ronaldinho's characteristic optimism, seems to remain deeply rooted within him. He still finds joy in football. Even in prison, he is still enthusiastic about new projects, still follows his son's career, and is especially looking forward to becoming a grandfather. The smile may no longer be constantly present, beaming from his face as it was when he dominated the pitch. But perhaps it has transformed into an inner peace, a quiet resilience to face life. Ronaldinho, a legend of world football, with unparalleled talent and an iconic smile. Despite the shadows and challenges in his current life, he remains a symbol of freedom, improvisation, and an unwavering passion for the beautiful game. Perhaps his smile is no longer for the world to see, but rather to encourage himself, to find solace in everyday moments, and to remind us that no matter how harsh life gets, an optimistic spirit remains the most powerful weapon. We can only hope that Ronaldinho will continue to overcome all challenges. And one day, his radiant, sun-like smile will once again light up his face, just as it did during his glorious peak.